problem now. We all need to be seen. We all need to be known. But finally, listen, everyone needs to feel loved. Everyone needs to feel loved. But we can't be loved. Why? Here's the problem. Are you ready? Because in order for someone to really love us, they have to really what? But in order for them to get to know us, we have to get them to see us. So in order to get them to see us, we put all this on. But in putting all this on, we cover up who we really are, which prevents us from really being known, which makes it impossible to really be loved. Did you follow that? In order to be loved, you have to get to be known. But in order to get to be known, you have to get them to see. But in order to get them to see, I gotta put it on. But by putting it on, I'm covering up who I am. And if I'm covering up who I am, I can't really be loved. Here's the solution. Here's the solution. You gotta find someone who knows who you are, who sees who you are, and loves you anyway. Because if not, here's what you're gonna try and do. You're gonna try and look for that person to fill this hole, but what you don't know about that person, they got a hole too. Everybody's trying to be loved. So you can't go to someone to get something that they don't have. Put it on the screen. 2 people with holes don't make 1 person whole. And this is 90% of our relationship problems. We're going to someone to fill a hole that they have themselves. Everybody trying to be seen. Everybody trying to be known. Everybody trying to be loved. Ain't nobody got a love to give. What's the solution? I think you know where I'm going with this. I got 3 things to tell you. Number 1, before any of this, before you needed to be somebody, for somebody to see you, God sees you. Put it on the screen. God sees you. Psalms 139, 13 and 16. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. When I was woven together in the depths of the earth, your eyes. Where did he see you? When you were in the womb, which means before you cracked your first joke. Before you passed your exam. Before you learned the C chord. Before you started buying stuff. Before you could afford a Gucci bag. Before you learned how to do the mascara with the cat eyes and all that. Before you learned how to dress. When you were naked in your mother's womb, I saw you. You already had my attention. You don't have to fight for nobody's attention. You already got God's attention. And he don't just see you, God knows you. God knows you. Jeremiah 1, 4 through 5, the word of the Lord came to me saying, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart as a prophet to the nations. Are you ready? He said, before you ever did something in life, I knew what you were gonna do. And I knew what you weren't gonna do. In other words, I know every success and every failure, and I still love you. And I still want you. And I still want you. Regardless of them, I know every secret. I already know it. I knew the secrets before they became secrets. And I still want you. And to find someone who really sees you without having to do nothing, someone who really knows you, is to find a God who really loves you. God loves you. Now I gotta pause right here and we'll close, because there are 2 types of people in this church today. One person who is here, they're new to the Christianity, or they've never really been strong in the faith, and they are loving this message because this is blowing their mind right now. God loves me after all that I've done, after all that I am, and I don't have to go find it anywhere else. Yeah, you know who's not liking this message right now? People who've been in church their whole life. Because you got a little disappointed. You came to church today and you said, okay, so the answer to my relationship problems is the thing I already know. God loves me. That's the big takeaway. That's the big what I'm gonna do. Here's what I've discovered in life. There's a difference between knowing God loves you and grasping the love of God. When you grasp the love of God, it changes you. If you're single, let me bring this back to relationships. You know how this changes you? When you grasp the love of God, it means that you don't need someone to fulfill your needs. You don't need to get in a relationship because a relationship needs to fill your needs, because before you get into the relationship, you already had your needs met. So you don't gotta lower your standards. And I hear somebody real cynical in the back talking about, well, God don't meet my sexual needs. And I got sexual needs, I need to get into a relationship with that. Let me speak to you real quickly. First off, sex is not a need. Somebody just said the devil is a liar. Can I tell you what some needs are? Water, air, food. Some guys are not smiling right now. Hey, a need is something that if you don't have, you'll die. And I've heard of people dying for a lot of reasons. But I ain't never heard of someone dying because they weren't having sex. Never. You're in the office one day, you hear about Johnny? Just walking down the hallway one day, it blew up, it blew up. Blew up, what happened? He didn't have sex, it blew up. Needed to do it, and he couldn't do it, just exploded. Now he's dead. You don't need sex, you need to feel seen. You need to feel known, you need to feel loved. And for a long time, sex was the only way you could feel seen. You could feel known, you could feel loved. But sex without being seen and known and loved is like plastic fruit. It's like Monopoly money. It looks good, but it's empty and can do nothing for you. You're married. You know how being seen, known, and loved changes you by God? You don't have to worry about that other person not meeting your needs. Well, Pastor, they're not meeting your needs. The question isn't why aren't they meeting your needs? The question is, why do you have to go to another person to meet your needs anyway? You haven't. Hey, divorced and recently widowed and recently divorced people, let me encourage you, because I know this is a hard message for you to hear. You know why it's so hard? Because for a long time, when that person died, you thought, I lost a piece of me. But you haven't lost a piece of you, because that person never completed you. They complemented you. Only the one who made you, who formed you, has the missing piece. Only the one who made you can complete you. Only the one who saw you before you were in the womb knows how to heal the womb. He's the only one who can complete you. And when he can complete you, then you can go into marriage. Then you can go into the world, not looking for a love to fill you, but having a love to give. We'll talk about that next week. Once you are loved, how do you go through life giving love? We don't get it, by the way, this is a mind shaker, mind breaker. We don't get into a relationship to receive love. We get into a relationship to pour out the love that we've already been received. That's it. That changes everything for you. I know it's not practical. I know I didn't give you 1, 2, 3, 4. That comes next week. But if you don't know this, you will always be looking for people with holes to make you whole.